My name is Wilbur. I'm a beekeeper. And I've been a beekeeper for about 15 years, and I don't do it for a living. I strictly do it as a hobby, and I really do it because I like to see the honeybees in my garden. We're losing some honeybees, and it's called CCD, Colony Collapse Disorder. The jury is still out, but we're starting to wonder, is it the chemical that's doing it? Neonicotinoids are nicotine-based pesticide. A lot of us beekeepers are very leery of it. When a seed is planted that's coated with this chemical, of course the seed will sprout, it grows roots, it absorbs this chemical, and this chemical becomes stemic throughout the plant. For a honeybee, it goes to the bloom of this plant for pollen. It takes pollen back to the hive to feed into the cell, to feed its live little babies, so to speak, and that's the protein. When the bloom has got nectar in it, the honeybee visits this bloom and takes the nectar back to the hive to make honey. Yes, we found traces of this pesticide in the hive. I know the chemical companies will say that's not enough chemical in there to destroy a hive. Well, if a bee these honeybees all during the winter consumes their honey that has traces of this pesticide in it, which acts on the nerves. The whole idea of this chemical is to act on the nerves of the insect. The honeybee will leave its hive, fly away from the hive, because their nerves are shot. They don't know where they're going or how to get back. And we go into the hive and we find a handful of bees left, plenty of food left, but where's all the bees at? They're gone. And that's called a colony collapse disorder. The honeybee is an amazing insect. The only insect that produces the food that we consume is honey. And it's not a native, the honeybee is not a native of the United States. It was brought over here by the Pilgrims because they had no sweetener or sugar. They used honey, and they brought the bees over to make honey so they could have something sweet. All these years we've had the honeybees, and they flourish throughout this country. And let's say this to you: 1/3 of the food that you consume comes about due to pollination by a honeybee. There. That is capped honey. That's all honey right there that's capped over. And over here means that's ready for taking, because the water content of the honey is down probably below 17% moisture. So that is good honey. Now, what we've done is collected 1 super of honey out of that hive. This is the process that I call decapping honey. You only just cut a thin layer off. This is the centrifuge or an extractor. It will spin the frames around real fast. Okay, being it's a warm day, this honey will flow very easy. And we have two strainers here. We have a coarse strainer, that's the top one. And then we have a finer one, which is a fine strainer. And we want to take all the impurities or little pieces of cone and what out of that honey. I promote local honey. If you live near a beekeeper, please buy local honey. It is the best for you, and that local beekeeper will tell you about his honey and whether he uses any chemical or when he uses it, the process he goes to extracting that honey. And if he'll tell you it's pure, raw honey, that is the best you can consume. Now the word is, if you eat local honey, it's good for your allergies. I eat honey 4 or 5 times a week. I might add, when I was a kid, I was told I had hay fever, or I had rose fever, or I would just sneeze my little old head right off. And now that I'm an adult, I'm a beekeeper, and I eat honey, I don't know if it's honey or not, but I don't have those symptoms anymore. So I'm saying to you, try it. See if it works for you. Buy local honey and promote your beekeeper.